Now, one of my dear patrons asked me lots of questions recently, and I probably will be covering most of them in videos, starting with this one, naming the harsh inner critic of most INFJs and whether that poses problems for INFJs in their emotional lives, in terms of emotional connection, in terms of intimacy with other people. And the obvious answer is yes. We're not talking about all INFJs, secure INFJs, that is to say, INFJs who are, ultimately low on the neuroticism scale, exist and likely won't be facing these issues as much. But they're not very common, these secure INFJs. And one of the reasons why they're not so common is that it seems to me that one becomes an INFJ through trials. These are trials that we don't remember. Of course, we remember many trials of our childhoods, young, our teenagers, adulthoods, and so on. But those trials we can remember, even in retrospect, as INFJ trials. So there were not trials that led to our becoming INFJs. But I do think that in the early years of life, a period that we just do not remember, it's not accessible to consciousness. The interaction of a particular temperament, genetically determined temperament, and a particular nurturing environment in all its dimensions produces the INFJ personality in someone. But if there is in this a certain kind of suffering, as I think happens, then it's unlikely that the INFJ would end up secure anyway. A good bit of this is theoretical, you understand, but this is my belief. In any case, a lot of INFJs are inwardly conflicted. If there is inward conflict, you already know that there's a conflict between agencies within the self and that the superego is involved. I've talked about the INFJ superego before. I said the INFJ superego is often quite harsh and unforgiving, which is incidentally why INFJs can also be prone to depression. That's also tantamount to saying INFJs, the majority of INFJs have a fairly harsh inner critic. Clearly that is going to be an obstacle, at least to some degree, requiring self-work or therapeutic work, to emotional intimacy and physical intimacy as well. Now, the physical intimacy side is compounded by the fact that INFJs also have a hard time, given an inferior SE, being comfortable in their bodies. Disembodiment, the feeling like the body is a cage of sorts, is prominent in a lot of INFJs. So if you combine that with the harsh inner critic, what you get is a sense of, I'm not good enough. I must consistently do more than what I'm doing in order to be good enough. Creates a lot of pressure on the INFJ's shoulders, of course. But what this means as well is that the INFJ is often going to be tempted to avoid the struggles and potential pains that would be revealed in a relationship, because intimate connection and intimate physical connection, emotional and physical, obviously is where you're the most naked, and that's where the fears that are themselves the outgrowth of the harsh inner critic are the most obvious. So a lot of INFJs are going to opt for a kind of avoidance, or take so long to feel comfortable that they might miss opportunities. And I think that that's where the main obstacle posed by the harsh inner critic is the most obvious, is in the avoidance, I think if they can get past the avoidance, and are willing to trust, things can go well. But you have to be willing to go past the avoidance. If you would like to know more about INFJs in the world, you know that you can get my book, The Infinite Soul, INFJ Life in the Modern World. First link below. Check it out if you want to know more about how INFJs can find happiness, purpose, and value in a world they often find hostile. First link below, guys, as well as The Ecstatic Soul, which is my first book on the INFJ, put my name on the map, a new look at the INFJ personality. To date, still the deepest look into the INFJ mind. The link is also below, and don't forget that you can support me on Patreon. In fact, I'd be very grateful if you did. For a small amount every month, you get cool perks in return, like access to our Discord server, as well as bonus video content every 2-3 weeks by myself, a deep dive on a topic of your choice. But mostly, you know, I cannot do it without you. This would help me massively. So hopefully see you there, guys, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.